Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and I'm going to be doing a Brotherhood of the Fire Fist deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play, especially with all the recent fire support we've been getting, which just takes this deck to a whole new level. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Elephant. Elephant is a definite 3-of in the build, and just an amazing card to be able to summon to your side of the field. So if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one face-up fire formation spell or trap that you control to the graveyard to special summon a Fire Fist monster from your hand, which is a really cool ability to instantly get another monster on your side of the field. This card also has the ability you can target a fire formation spell or trap in the graveyard, shuffle it in the deck, and then you can add a level 5 or higher Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Dragon. Dragon is really cool as a 3-of in the build because once per turn, if you activate a Fire Formation spell or trap card, then you can actually set to your side of the field 1 Fire Formation trap directly from your deck, which is a great ability to instantly get to one of our cards. This card also has a really cool ability that you can send 2 face-up Fire Formation spell or trap cards you control to the graveyard, and then target a Fire Fist monster in the graveyard, except another copy of Dragon, and special summon that target, which is a great ability just to instantly get another monster out on your side of the field, and use this card as an extender, especially when you have your copy of Eagle on the field. We then play 3 copies of Raven. Raven is definitely a 3-of in the build, and it's actually one of the best normal summons in the entire deck now. Is that this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can actually set a Fire Formation spell directly from your deck to your side of the field, which is a really cool ability just to normal summon this card out to your side of the field, link it away for a copy of Salaman Great Owl Mirage, and then search out the exact card you need, like a copy of Tensu or Tenki, which is just really nice. We then play 2 copies of Panda. Panda is just a good 2-of in the build. You don't really need 3 copies of this card, but it's really good in the deck. Is if you activate a Fire Formation spell or trap, then you can actually special summon this card from your hand, which is a great ability to just instantly get this card out to your side of the field. Then you can actually special summon 1 Fire Fist monster from your graveyard, which is an insane ability that you can get this card and another monster out on your side of the field. I love that about this card, and it's just a awesome 2-of in the deck because it is summonable or searchable off your copy of Elephant. It also has the ability if a Fire Fist card or Fire Fist monster you control would be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, then you can actually send a face-up Fire Formation spell or trap you control to the grave instead, giving you a little bit of protection. We then play 2 copies of Rooster. Rooster is a great 2-of in the deck because this card has the ability that when this card is special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, you can add a Fire Fist monster from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to use this card. And also, once per turn, you can send a face-up Fire Formation spell or trap you control to the graveyard to set a Fire Formation spell or trap directly from your deck, letting you tag out the Fire Formations that you have on your side of the field to get the exact one that you need. We then play 2 copies of Spirit. I love Spirit. This card is really good as a 2-of in the deck because it has the ability that when this card is normal summoned, you can actually target a level 3 fire monster in your graveyard with 200 or less defense in your grave and special summon that target in defense position. And if you do, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn except Beast Warrior monsters, which is not that big of a deal, but this card is really good in the deck to be able to play as it helps us get cards out on our side of the field like our copy of Rooster, which is just really nice. We then play a single copy of Ram. I'm really liking Ram as a 1-of in the build, as when this card is normal summoned, you can discard a card to target a Fire Formation spell or trap that you control and set a Fire Formation spell or trap with a different name directly from your deck, which is a really cool effect. And if this card is special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, you can set a Fire Formation spell or trap directly from your deck with a different name from cards in your graveyard, which is a great ability. We then play a single copy of Leopard. Leopard is great to help you get to the exact Fire Formation you need. Is during your main phase, if this card is normal or special summon this turn, you can tribute a Fire Fist monster to set a Fire Fist spell or trap directly from your deck to your side of the field, which is a great effect. And then play a single copy of Bear. Bear is awesome because it pops cards on the field, which is why we play this card as a 1-of in the deck. Plus, it's a classic old school Fire Fist card. And then play a single copy of Buffalo. Buffalo is just a really good extender in the deck, which is why we play this card as a 1-of in the build. As if this card's in the graveyard, you can actually send a total of 2 Fire Fist or Fire Formation cards from your hand or face up from your side of the field to the graveyard to special summon this card from the grave, but you can only use this effect once per turn, but it's super easy to get out on your side of the field, especially when you have your copy of Eagle on the field. We then play a single copy of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Coyote. Coyote is just an awesome extender because if you control a Fire Formation spell or trap card and no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, making this card just a really good extender in the deck. And then we play a single copy of Elin. Elin is really good in the deck. It is a ritual monster, but it's very easy to summon out to her side of the field in this build. And it has the ability that actually you can ritual summon this card with your copy of Dome, and then you can discard a monster to set a Fire Formation spell or trap card directly from your deck or graveyard. And then when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can send a face-up Fire Fist card or a Fire Formation card you control to the graveyard to be able to negate that effect, which is an awesome ability. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is really good as a 1-of to get the exact monster you need into the graveyard. And then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is great in the deck as a 1-of just to make sure you're not going to get hand trap while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of the Fire Fortress. Fire Fortress is really good as a field spell in the deck because this card is always treated as a Fire Formation card, and each time a Fire Fist monster is normally special summoned, you can place a Fire Fist counter on this card. And once per turn, you can move Fire Fist counters from your field to activate one of these effects. If you remove 2, if your Beast Warrior monster attacks this turn, your opponent cannot activate the effects until the end of the damage step. If you remove 6, then you can add a Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your hand, which is the effect in this build I'm actually using the majority of the time. And if you remove 10, you can special summon a Beast Warrior monster from your deck or extract, ignoring its summoning conditions. I don't use that effect as often in this particular build. You can play a copy of Heraclenos in the extract if you want to. I'm not in this deck, but you can if you want to go into that ability. But I usually just use this card for the search. We then play a single copy of Yugioh. Yugioh is great in the deck as a 1-of, because when this card is activated, you can target a face-up card your opponent controls, discard a Beast Warrior monster, and if you do, destroy that card. And all Beast Warrior monsters you control gain 100 attack, which all of your Fire Formation cards have that ability that all of your Beast Warriors gain 100 attack points. We then play a single copy of Dome. Dome is our ritual spell, basically. It is a continuous card to be able to keep on our side of the field. When this card is activated, you can ritual summon a Beast Warrior ritual monster from your hand by tributing monsters from your hand or field whose total level equal or exceed its level. And if this face-up card is sent from the spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, you can take a Fire Fist monster in your grave and special summon it, which is an awesome ability. We then play 2 copies of Engine. Engine is definitely a 2-of. This card is actually a fusion card with the ability, when this card is activated, you get to fusion summon a Beast Warrior fusion monster from your extract using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. And if this face-up card is sent to the spell and trap card zone of the graveyard, you can target a Fire Fist monster in the grave and add it to your hand, which is an awesome ability just to recover one of your cards and also help you summon out your copy of Swan. We then play 3 copies of Tenki. Tenki is basically our Rhoda for the deck. Then when this card is activated, you get to add a level 4 lower Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of Tensu. Tensu is really cool because this card gives us an additional normal summon, because during your main phase, you can normal summon a Beast Warrior monster in addition to your normal summoner set, which is awesome to help us swarm the board. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Prosperity is really cool as a 3-of, just to help us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start off with a single copy of Pinson. Pinson is really good as a 1-of in the deck, because this card has the ability, when this card is activated, you get to target a Beast Warrior type monster you control, and it gains 700 attack until the end phase. And it also has the ability that all Beast Warrior monsters you control gain a 300 boost, which is great for this card. That basically gives a monster 1,000 attack points, which is just really cool to be able to use in this deck. We then play 2 copies of Sento. Sento is an awesome counter trap that has the ability when a spell trap card is activated while you control a Fire Fist monster and a Fire Formation spell or trap card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. And you only activate one of this card per turn, but it's really good as a 2-of in the deck to basically just stop your opponent's spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra, guys, we're going to start with 2 copies of Tiger King. Tiger King is definitely a 2-of in the build because this card has the ability when it's XZ summon, you can set a Fire Formation spell or trap directly from your deck. And once per turn, you can detach a material from this card to negate the effects of all face-up effect monsters currently on the field except Beast Warrior type monsters until the end of your opponent's turn, which is a really cool Cold Wave-like effect on this card. It also has the ability when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can actually send 3 face-up Fire Formation cards that you control to the graveyard to special summon 2 level 4 or lower Beast Warrior type monsters with the same attack from your deck and face-up defense position to the exact monsters you want on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Cardinal. Cardinal's really good as a 1-of in the deck because this card has the ability you can detach 2 materials on this card, target 2 Fire Fist and or Fire Formation cards in your graveyard and or face up on your side of the field, and 2 cards your opponent controls or in their graveyard, and then you get to be able to shuffle those targets into the deck, which is an insane ability to use with this card. We then play a single copy of Horse Prince. You only need a single copy of this card, but it has the ability when this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon 1 level 3 fire monster from your deck, and after you Synchro Summon this card, you cannot special summon level 5 or higher monsters for the rest of the turn, which is a little bit of a downside, but we can play around it. We then play 2 copies of Swan. Swan is a really cool 2-of in the deck because it's so easy to summon as a boss monster in this deck, and it has the ability, if this card is special summoned, you can inflict 200 points of damage to your opponent for each Fire Formation spell or trap you control, and during the battle phase, quick effect, you can send 1 face-up Fire Formation spell or trap card that you control to the graveyard, and target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. We then play a single copy of Shirog. Shirog is really good to be able to summon to your side of the field because it just spot removes cards off the field, and it's a really good card to summon out. We then play a single copy of Appaloosa just to give us multiple negates on our side of the field. I really like this card as a 1-of in the build. We then play a single copy of the Swamp Ship. This card is really good to be able to combine with our copy of Fire Princess. It's just a really good 1-of in the deck. I really like this card overall because it has a really cool ability. If a Link 3 or lower monster is on the field, destroyed by battle or by card effect, while this card's in the graveyard, you can manage this card from your grave and destroy 1 card on the field, which is an awesome ability to use with this card's effect. We then play a single copy of Fire Princess, Bestower of Flames. This card is really good as a 1-of in the build because you cannot special summon monsters except for fire, which is totally fine because that's all we're ever summoning in this deck anyways. And you only affect this card once per turn, that during your main phase you can special summon a fire monster from your graveyard, and if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's side of the field while this card's in the grave, except during the damage step, you can target a fire monster you control and a monster your opponent controls and destroy them, and if you do special summon this card, which is a great effect to use with this card. This card works really well with their copy of Swamp Ship because you can pop the copy of Swamp Ship and pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, and then use Swamp Ship to pop another card while also getting Bestower of Flames back on your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Frigid. Frigid is just a good option in the deck because during the main phase you can special summon a level 4 Beast Warrior Winged Beast monster from your hand, which is just a really cool effect. We then play 2 copies of Eagle. Eagle is a card you always want to get on your side of the field, as this card has the ability you can only special summon this card once per turn, but you can activate Fire Fist monster effects without sending Fire Fist or Fire Formation cards from your hand or field to the graveyard, which is an insane ability that basically all their effects become free, which is such a cool ability about this card. It also has the ability that you can target a Fire Formation spell or trap that you control or in your graveyard and return it back to the hand, and then send a Fire Fist monster from your deck to the graveyard. We then play a single copy of Peacock. Peacock is just a good 1-of in the deck because while this card points to a Fire Fist monster, your opponent's monsters cannot target this card for attacks, and when this card declares an attack, you can actually send a face-up Fire Formation spell or trap you control to the graveyard, target a monster your opponent controls, and place that monster in the zone this card points to, and take control of it until the end of the turn. But it cannot declare an attack this turn, which is just a pretty cool ability that you can actually take your opponent's monster. We then play a single copy of Alamirage. Alamirage is just really good to be able to work with their copy of Raven, because you can normal summon out your copy of Raven, link it away for this, and then get a search, which is just super, super cool. So That's it for the deck, guys. I would enjoy this deck. Is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Fire Fist before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's really fun to be able to play, and I absolutely love this deck. Fire Fist is just really awesome because of all of their artworks and what kind of amazing fields you can make with them, especially with all the fire support. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.